afternoon, everyone. I'm Esmeralda. Today, I'll share a universal experience with you. I'm sure you all had a time when you had a stuffy nose or a runny nose or with a bad headache and everything just seems to irritate you. Well, that in part is because of adenovirus causing common cold or some diseases, and that we are going to talk about today. Presentation overview, key sections for our presentation. Today, we're going to talk about the overall disease, the overall setting where our campaign is focusing on, considerations, our current strategies that we want to share with you all, proposed intervention, funding, implementation, reflection, and our sources where we got our information. As I said, my name is Esmeralda. My team, I'm working with Sienna, Padia, and Ruth. Adenovirus. What is adenovirus? Adenovirus can cause a wide range of illness such as common cold or flu-like symptoms, fever, sore throat, bronchitis, pink eye, and pneumonia. Who is impacted by adenovirus? Adenovirus can impact everyone, but mainly children, elderly, and immunocompromised. How can you get adenovirus? One doesn't know until you get sick. Three ways you could get it is close personal contact, touching someone or shaking their hands, or being near someone, coughing and sneezing, or touching contaminated objects, and which we don't even know if they're contaminated until you rub your eyes and nose and mouth until you get sick. Now I'm going to pass it on to Pranya, my partner.
So now that we know a little bit more about adenovirus, let's know a bit more about where we're going to work. That is in Bauchi State in Nigeria. So adenovirus is a very common virus. It's common throughout the year, and it's estimated to cause about 10% of all the childhood fevers, as well as 2 to 5% of all respiratory infections. An annual study, which was done on ARI, has given a result that the incidence of ARI in Nigeria is something about 6.1 to 8.1 episodes per child per year, which is quite high. And if we talk about Bauchi State, in a study about hotspots and spatial pattern of ARI in Nigeria, Bauchi State ranks first among all the states in Nigeria with a score of 98 total cases. As the study was done in 2013, it was quite high back then, and it really highlights this issue. Getting more into the social determinants of our treatment, there are many issues that might come across. One of them is adherence to the treatment. People might not be able to complete the course of medication that is prescribed to them, or they might not be able to take it in the prescribed amount. They might take it too much or too less, leading to overdose or a decrease in the medication. Also, there might be financial issues, as most of the population in Nigeria lives below $1 per day. So that might cause problems for them to afford prescribed medication, as well as misinformation, which is like lack of awareness, lack of knowledge, because people still seek out for traditional healers such as herbalists instead of general practitioners and doctors. Just to tie it in, Anirudh would be considering the considerations ahead of this. So I hand it over to him.
After working with Dr. Aisha, we have an understanding on what we need to take into consideration. There are a few different cultural considerations we have to think about. Some religions will have problems with conventional treatment, such as Jehovah's Witnesses not allowing for blood transfusions. Another problem is that some people may not trust a doctor due to bad experiences and general past malpractice in the name of Western medicine. There are other situational considerations to keep in mind. For example, hygiene is key to slowing down the spread of adenoviruses. However, we must account for the fact that 72% of the bathrooms in Bauchi do not have soap. Clean water and hygiene products can be hard to access individually as well. In addition to lack of government spending on healthcare, means that most people are paying out of their pocket for medical treatment. With living off of less than $1 a day, medical treatments are not easily accessible in Bauchi.
So there are a few different current initiatives taking place towards treating adenoviruses. So some groups that are dedicated towards that are the Every Breath Counts Coalition, Dahlberg, which is a group of activists focused on helping Asia and Africa, and the Clinton Health Access Initiative. So all of these groups, like I said, are geared towards treating adenoviruses, but most specifically pneumonia. So one of the most recent events was the Global Forum on Childhood Pneumonia, which took place in 2020. And at this forum, Dahlberg, along with the Nigerian Federal Ministry of Health and the state ministries of health, presented their National Integrated Pneumonia Control Strategy and Implementation Plan. One of their many goals is to make treatments like amoxicillin and oxygen therapy for pneumonia more widely available. However, we would like to expand on that by giving communities the tools to find these treatments, as well as educating them on symptoms and accessible treatments while things like amoxicillin are still not as widely available. And we also want to focus on treatments for other adenoviruses that are not being as widely focused on, like bronchitis and conjunctivitis, etc. So here is our proposal. So the materials that we would need would be 100 informational pamphlets. We would like to send letters to local schools about handing out those pamphlets to school children, and a workshop geared towards the parents of young children. So we have our main goal is to curb adenoviruses by giving communities the tools to spot them and treat them within their means. So to do this, like I said, we've created the informational pamphlets that have different symptoms, treatments, and other general information on the illnesses caused by adenoviruses. So we would print 100 of these pamphlets, and because children under 6 are some of those who suffer the most from adenoviruses, we would hand 50 out to schools along with letters, making sure that teachers would be okay with going over and handing out these pamphlets to the school children. The other 50 would be distributed in the local market or any other public space. And lastly, we would aim to host a workshop that would go more in depth on adenoviruses. And the pamphlets would advertise this workshop, and we would say to bring the pamphlets to the workshop so that we wouldn't have to print any extra materials. So here are our pamphlets. So they have the treatments, they have the symptoms, they have some homemade recipes as well, which we included after taking into account social determinants and considerations that medicine is not widely accessible for some people for a multitude of different reasons. So we wanted to include that. And for spending, we would need a total of $56. $36 would be for our pamphlets, and $20 would go towards running the workshop. And so I'm going to hand it over to Anirudh, who's going to go over the rest of our proposal.
Our target audience are the young, the immunocompromised, and parents of the young children. By helping educate these populations, we can help them understand the severity of these diseases and help them if they need to go to the doctor and treat these diseases with at-home remedies to try to stop the disease at its early stages. We will try to partner with hospitals such as the Nagari Medical Clinic, local schools, and teachers to try to spread information about these diseases so people are able to learn about them. Our possible problems will be that some people may not agree with our attempts and others won't help or be involved in this. We may also run out of resources or have a lack of communication with the people we are trying to reach. We hope that we will be able to solve these problems as they start.
The key takeaway from us to you guys is we want you to take this treatment from my team to provide you in order to reduce the prevalence of adenovirus. With all of this, we want those who are affected by adenovirus to have a better chance to be better and recover faster. Our team aims to decrease the spread of adenovirus through our pamphlets and workshops and get the education that people need to in order to get the treatment that they need. Our goal is to reduce the spread of the adenovirus through our education. We aim at achieving through children and through their parents to give them the availability to the treatment that are available to them.
So these are our sources, and if anybody has any questions and would like to contact us, this is all of our information. We've really enjoyed researching adenoviruses and hope that our campaign will help stop people from suffering from them. And we want to thank all the doctors and people who've helped work with us the past few weeks. And thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, and I want to congratulate this team for some really good, insightful information. I was impressed with the brochures that you put together. I think many times that helps people refer back to those as they're trying to address these issues. It really brought home the importance of this issue when you shared that the average number of episodes per year were 6 to 8. And I was just surprised when you said that. I had no idea. I think of the common cold in the United States, you get it once, it's over, you move on. But when you're talking about 6 to 8 episodes, that really talks about the importance of your research. So congratulations on your work.
Perfect. Thank you, Jim. Owl, see if you can turn on your camera and your audio and talk. And if not, we'll just go to audio. Give him a sec, guys. We're working real hard to get that audio in Nigeria working well for you. I will try one more time to be able to talk. I know you're trying, buddy. Okay, and while he's doing that, guys, I'm going to go over.
Okay.
Owl, you good?
Thank you. Sorry about the network.
No worries, Owl.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Wow.
Okay, guys, we just lost Owl. He obviously cares. He's texting me on Skype right now how awesome you guys were. I'm gonna give you my thoughts though, while he's trying to reconnect. You guys had a well thought out presentation, and it showed because you're going over highlighting the issues and the impact, and the things you guys not only were highlighting what you wanted to do about it, but you took the other side's argument, like, okay, we're gonna try to do this, but what are the complications with our solution? And not every team admits that their solution is not perfect or that there's not going to be pushback. Because anytime something goes to change or make the world better or do anything to move things forward, there's always pushback. And I really loved how you guys found that pushback. You said what that pushback was going to be, and then you gave your solutions for that pushback. So it wasn't just a one-step solution. You were doing, okay, what's the next step? What's the next step? What's the next step? So we could see your vision on this problem. I really appreciated that. I appreciated how you guys worked to make sure everything flowed together as your team. And there was definitely multiple times, I don't know if you guys noticed it, but when there's a little hiccup, you guys were supporting each other. And I could see that not only in your faces, which is always great to see, but then you guys giving each other little cues to keep on going forward. That is a real team. You guys are all from very different parts of the world, some of your team members, and you guys came together. You had a well thought out plan. You worked extra hours to make it come through, and it showed. So you guys, you deserve a round of applause. Great work today.